Hey neighbor, didn't see you there. Just snorting some GMO gluten. I like to start my day right. Today we're going to be making eggnog. If you're like me and you don't like suffering under the dairy regime, getting eggnog only once a year, I'm going to show you how to make it. You're going to need 4 cups of milk, 6 eggs, 2 egg yolks separated from the white, of course, a 1/4 teaspoon of vanilla, a 1/4 teaspoon of salt, a nutmeg. I like to use a real nutmeg because I'm a bit of a control freak, so I want the whole recipe under my thumb. Let's see, 1/2 cup of sugar, a 1/4 cup of cream that we're going to whip into soft peaks later. Definitely get a sifter if you have one, because we're going to cook the eggs a little bit and we want to sift out the cooked eggs. And you'll need a grater for the nutmeg. So let's get started. Alright, now that we got our ingredients, we're going to start with 2 egg yolks in the pan. Whoop. It's important to use egg yolks, not the whole egg, because the yolk is going to make it a little more creamy. And if it's eggnog, I want it to be creamy. Something else to remember with your eggs is to keep them at room temperature for about 20 minutes before you use them. That'll make the cooking process a little bit easier, and it'll hopefully make it so it doesn't turn into scrambled eggs. Now, you may have noticed that I didn't mention alcohol in this list. That's because alcohol in milk doesn't agree with my stomach very much. I can handle a lot, but this dude cannot abide alcohol in milk. So you're going to take all the eggs, put them in the pan, get your sugar and your salt, put those in the pan as well. So a 1/4 teaspoon of salt and a 1/2 cup of sugar. And you're going to whisk that until it's pretty well combined. If you want a little addition of beard hair or chest hair, I would suggest cooking without a shirt on. It'll add a nice muskiness to your eggnog. So as this is whisking, I'm going to pour in the milk. 4 cups of milk. Make sure you whisk it while you pour it in. And once that's poured in and mixed up, we're going to move it over to the burner. And we're going to cook it on the lowest setting possible. And it's going to be a little bit annoying because you're going to have to watch it the whole time, but it's eggnog in July, so we all have a price to pay. Alright, let's move over to the stove. Alright, so like I said, you're going to want to turn your burner on to the lowest setting possible because you do not want to make this into scrambled eggs. So this is the annoying part, but whatever. That's just how it goes. Okay. Now, I didn't mention this in the intro, but I also like to add 6 pieces of clove. I'll put that in with the eggs. When I sift it later, those will come out. So you're going to want to cook this lowest setting possible, stir it the entire time, and you're waiting until it reaches about 160 degrees Fahrenheit, or until a little bit of the mixture stays on the back of the spoon. So just stand here. It'd be really handy if you have a thermometer, but if you don't, just look for it to stick to the back of the spoon like you would expect eggs to stick. So I'll stir this for a bit and we'll come back when it's ready to be sifted out. Okay, well that should take about 45 minutes to cook. We're just going to give it a few stirs every minute or so. If you have a thermometer, again, make sure it's about 160 degrees. If you don't have one, watch for the egg to start sticking to the pan. So now I'm going to take a nutmeg, and I'm going to grate it. On a grater, I'm trying to get about 1/2 teaspoon out of it, but if there's more than that, that's fine because I love nutmeg. I love nutmeg. Probably should have done this over some sort of bowl, but I can still scrape this up and put it in the pan. So we're going to scoop this up, put it aside, and put it in the eggnog once it's sifted. Alright, so one of the last major steps while we're waiting for the eggs to cook is I'm going to take that 1/4 cup of whipping cream. Make sure it's heavy whipping cream. This is Lift Big Eat Big. Okay? Heavy whipping cream It's only a quarter cup, so you're not really going to need a mixer or anything. Just take a fork. Actually, take a spoon, and you don't need to whip it into actual whipped cream. You're just going to whip it until soft peaks form. Once those peaks form, stick it in the fridge and set it aside until the eggnog is cooled, and then you'll mix it all together when it's done. All right, well, it's at about 160 degrees. A little bit of egg forming on the spatula. So now we're going to very carefully take this egg mixture, hope we don't spill it, and we're going to pour it through a sifter or a strainer into a pitcher. There, you see, a little bit of egg stuck on the bottom of the pan, burning my hand. So take your spatula and work the rest of that eggnog into the pitcher. There should definitely be a little bit of egg left on the top, but not so much that you'd basically made scrambled eggs. So work it around until the liquids go through, but the solids stay up top. If you're really adventurous, you could just eat the solids, but I'm not that poor. So work all that out. The cloves will stay in the sifter too. Once that's done, get rid of that. Put your nutmeg and your vanilla and stir it. So the worst part, of course, is the waiting. You should wait about 4 hours before you eat this. And once it's pretty chilled in the fridge, put a lid on it before you put it in the fridge. You're going to add that whipped cream that we whipped into peaks earlier. If you notice a little bit of cooked egg made it through, I see a little bit. Wait till it chills, and then you can just pick it out yourself. But for the most part, it should all just taste like eggnog. So when it's chilled, we'll come back and we'll take a little sip. All right, well, that's been sitting for a few hours, and I just added the cream and stirred it, so let's give it a little taste. Now, you're probably wondering why I'm making eggnog in May. Well, besides drinking it, it has a whole lot of other uses. You can rub it on your wounds to help heal your wounds. You can rub it on your eyeballs. It'll give you 20/20 vision. Drink it after workouts. It'll make you huge. And what? Really? You're fired. Well, my producer just told me none of that's true, but it does have a lot of calories, and it has about 85 grams of protein and a lot of carbs. So I'll drink it in my coffee. I will probably drink it after a workout because that's just what I do. Delicious. Well, thanks for tuning in to LBEB Kitchen. If you guys have any recipe ideas, shoot them my way. Thanks for watching.